brakes once you're certified to do that, showing proficiency in all aspects of it, from startup to the flight and being able to perform certain flight maneuvers, and then also the shutdown and every safety procedure that's associated with flying a turbine-powered aircraft. You see the fire extinguisher there, that's required. These airplanes have to have brakes. That is an actual jet engine. They're miniature turbines, but exactly like work the same way as a jet engine would in a full-scale airplane. Passenger jet, military jet, whatever. It's the same exact concept. They burn jet fuel. You can run Jet A in them, but it's a little hard to get because you've got to go to the airport to get it. But it is accessible, and they'll burn jet fuel, but you can also run them on kerosene or on diesel fuel that you can buy at the local convenience store. Some turbine manufacturers actually prefer that their engines run on diesel fuel, which is good because it's half the cost of Jet A and much easier to get. The little engine that's on this jet is 100 newtons. That's how turbine force is measured, is in newtons. That means that's putting out about 22 pounds of thrust. That airplane probably weighs around close to that, maybe around 20 pounds, 18 pounds, something like that, I would imagine. So that 22-pound thrust engine will push it pretty well. He's probably not getting that out of it at our altitude, but probably getting close to 1-to-1 power-to-weight ratio out of that. And you'll see this jet will be very fast. You can see when he turned around right there, if you could see it over the weeds, he hit the brakes as he turned around, stopped it right there, and gets ready to power up and take off with that jet. That turbine is pretty loud because it's exposed. A lot of the other turbines that we fly, the turbine is inside the airplane, and that helps quiet that motor. But this one is just exposed on the back end of the airplane, and so you really get to hear that jet sound. Coming in for a high-speed low pass, or kind of a medium-speed low pass. Brandon's a very accomplished pilot in our club. Travels around quite a bit to fly-ins and events. Jet turbines are a really cool aspect of our hobby and really kind of exploded over the last 4 or 5 years. More and more people have gotten into it, and more manufacturers have produced reliable engines. Prices have come down a little bit as competition has increased in it. A lot of great airplanes out there available for turbine engines.
they're bigger now. Yeah.
Flying a turbine-powered model is really no different than flying a propeller-driven model. You do have to learn to manage the power a little bit differently. There's a little bit of a lag in the way the power comes on as the turbine spools up as compared to a prop-driven aircraft, and then getting used to the speed, managing the momentum and the throttle on a turbine is a little different. But other than that, they actually fly very, very well. The speed helps with the stability. A lot of the modern day turbine-powered aircraft slow down very, very well for landing. A lot of people think that's because it's a jet that that they would land very fast, but a lot of the modern designs are lightly wing-loaded and slow down very well, and the required brakes that we have to have on these models slow them down on the runways, so makes them usable at a lot of different airfields. Brandon's probably carrying a half a gallon or more of fuel, and we'll get probably about a 7-minute flight out of this jet. There's a fire burning inside that engine, so it takes a lot of fuel to feed that fire that's producing all that thrust. So these turbine models go through a lot of fuel. Nice low pass there. You see Brandon put the landing gear down and getting ready for a landing here. He'll go through a little bit of a sequence, getting ready to go, putting the landing gear down, putting in some flaps, usually in a couple of stages. A mid stage on the flaps, and then he'll go to full flaps. It'll help slow the airplane down, make some air brakes, if you will, and then it also helps increase the lift on the wing. And that was a great example of how these jets will slow down for landing. You can see the flaps hanging down under the airplane right there. Good job, Brandon. The speed envelope on these airplanes is pretty impressive with how fast they'll fly and how much they will slow down for landing, as Brandon just demonstrated.